Welcome to Logos Bible Software Tutorials, and today we are going over part 5 of the Bible study workflow. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through how to use the commentary section. Let's get at it. All right, here we are at the Bible at our screen, and we are blank. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into the workflows, go into the Bible study workflow. We're going to type in our passage. And what we're going to see is that it's going to bring up the stuff that we've already done. So in programming, it basically creates what's called as an instance. So it just saves what you've done, so you don't have to recreate everything over. So we'll see all this information. Now we're down here. We've already done the summarize our passage, and now we're going to review the commentaries. So, as normal, it has this more where that it describes your desired outcomes and an explanation. What's important here is that it has this box so you can make it bigger. Now, you can change the types of stuff that you see here, but what I want you to see that you cannot change it here. I cannot change this at all. I'm stuck with what I have here. So I want to go through each one. So the first one that it gives is the priority. So this is commentaries that you normally go to, that are your go-tos. This is what's going to list right here. Next, it's going to list commentary by series. This one right here are those commentaries that are not marked in a quote-unquote series. Like say, for instance, it has the Bible guide. If I were to point this out, that it's marked as a commentary, but not quote unquote within a series per se. Here are all of the series of your commentaries. Now, it doesn't list by any priority. It rather lists it in alphabetical order. And it just lists them. Next, you go to the author, and it lists the commentaries by author in alphabetical order. Next, it lists them by denomination. So if you go in, so if you're looking for a certain tradition, it's going to list this. For example, it's got the Anglican. So anytime that it is by a quote unquote an Anglican author, that this is tagged. But what you're going to see is so like here, that the word biblical commentary, just because that that Luke is tagged as an Anglican doesn't mean that every single word biblical commentary is going to be tagged as Anglican. Only those where the author holds that type of viewpoint. It's the same thing as Baptist. Next, we got the type. So let me drag this over so we can really get into, and I can go through this. So the type, it lists what kind of commentaries it is, whether it's an application commentary, whether it's a Bible notes. This is really helpful is if you are getting into diagramming, syntax, and that sort of thing. A devotional commentary. Now, in my opinion, there's really not much difference between an application and devotional. So we see the Warren B. Here's be set. It's under both. So some of these commentaries are going to be the same thing in that the application as well as the devotional. And exegetical. In an exegetical commentary, they're running through verse by verse. These are going to be your more technical. These are going to be your more technical commentaries. It's going to run verse by verse. So you're going to have things like the BECNT, the New American Commentary, the Pillar New Testament Commentary, Word Biblical Commentary, International Critical Commentary, the Tyndale New Testament Commentary. So all these are going to be exegetical. Expositional. So an expositional as well as a homiletical are really very similar. So these commentaries are going to function more like sermons. So it's going to give you your main points and a little bit of exposition. It's not going to be very critical at all. So you might not get into Greek or the Hebrew or the Word. A study Bible. This is extremely nice. This is fantastic because what it does, it takes all of your study Bible notes and puts it in one area. So, and a lot of base packages come with study Bibles. And if you don't have a lot of commentaries, this is a wonderful tool. Really, the Net Bible gets into a lot of critical stuff. It gets into a lot. So this is one that I will often use when I'm going through the Greek. Spurgeon study notes. These are all great. And click more, and it pulls up all of your study Bibles. Next, theological. These have more of a theological bent to them that they're going to get into more theology of the text. Next, you have a tab called I am the era. So if you're looking for certain commentaries in certain areas, so this goes more in that you want to see that the historical prominence of a particular passage. How did the church over time view this passage? So say, for instance, I am in the book of Thessalonians, and I am and then I want to see what is the historical nature of dispensational premillennialism. So this could help you in understanding that. So this could tell you where how the early church and the medieval church and the Reformation all viewed that passage in First or Second Thessalonians. Let's drag this over. So I had created earlier a commentary set just for the passage guide. And the reason why I created this, because I wanted a commentary that will give me more big picture stuff. So I'm just going to have, and I'm just going to highlight some of these and why they're in there. This commentary here, I love. This is going to give you your big picture stuff. So when I come into this commentary, here, it's going to give me the main idea as well as the supporting idea. So when I come up with this main idea and I want to double check to make sure that my idea is lining up with what the scholars have to say, I'm going to go to this. This is one commentary that does it. There is another commentary. Let's go into this IVP. So it's going to give you an a overall, and then is going to get into the details of the passage. Um, so this is also going to give you that big picture idea that you are looking for, because that's what we want to do first. That we want to determine what's the big idea. What's the big idea? What is this passage fundamentally about? And we want to be able to say the big idea probably in one sentence. If you cannot say your passage in one sentence, what it means, then you don't understand your passage. Now, here's another one that the TNT is going to also do this, where it starts here in this part right here off of the big idea, and then it gets into the verse. So this will go into verse 1, verse 2. Next, we're going to go into this commentary set. This is the Message Bible. I mean the Message commentary. Let me double check that. This is, yeah, the Message of Luke. That it's a that the editor is John Stott here. So what it's going to do is it's going to start in this first section of giving you that big idea. What overall, what is this passage about? And then it goes more into more like a sermon. So here's going to talk about in verse 1. So he's going to get into the overview. He's going to get into verse 2 right here. Verse 1. So because this is more like a sermon, that he's not doing it in an expositional form. So just keep that in mind. And all these commentaries are meant to give you big picture ideas, big picture stuff. Another commentary that I use quite frequently when I'm trying to is the IVP background commentary. This commentary is meant to give you cultural nuances of words as well as meanings. So in verse 1, 2, he talks about handed down here and what that meant historically. My main point that I'm trying to do is, but I'm just not going to this commentary. So I have created a set of notes. I have created a note file of questions that I have. So it's all right here. So what I'm doing is I'm forming up my main big idea, and I want to reference that with what the authors are saying. So from here, we have this, and I get onto what it says, and here's the commentary in Broadman. It's the same here, but I'm taking my questions and my questions and comparing that to what the scholars say. So I have this: what does have been accomplished mean? Well, I pulled this from the Broadman commentary. Now, here's the thing, that because these commentaries are more big picture ideas that you're not gonna get, you're not always gonna have every question. So anything that you don't, that you might need to go to more of a the exegeticals. So I'm moving on, and when I'm done, I'm going to come into here and I'm going to post those things that I found here. I'm going to post them here. And I'm going to post these right here as well. It's important that when you're using this commentary section is once again that you have a plan. I'm just not reading a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to figure out the answers to my questions. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this helps you to understand how to use this and how to use this section. Have a wonderful day.